All right, you guys, it's a beautiful day. It's Saturday. It's actually Valentine's Day. So for my celebration of Valentine's, I built myself an $11,000 transmission. Oh, that hurts to say. A divorce would have been cheaper, it seems like. No, I'll take the transmission. Anyways, happy Valentine's Day, guys. Anyways, transmission's finally together. Got it all painted. We have our brand new vent hose in the top. 1/4 inch fits much tighter. So we went ahead, just put that on using the stock clamp. Got it ran way down here. And somebody is just target practicing on their ex-wife. Hopefully it's not them. Got the converter in, pre-filled that some. That's all nice and in. Got a billet triple disc spec right converter, 2100 stall non-damping unit, Precision Industries clutch kit, flange and pillar hub. It's really the bee's knees, and I really like how it uses bolt holes instead of studs because it makes it much easier to get this up against the back of the flex plate instead of stud. You got to try to line it up. The whole transmission can walk side to side. Anyways, going to go ahead, be using ARP hardware on the converter there as well. Footage here of the transmission, how clean it is right now. Because once this thing goes in, it's gonna get scratched and everything. Again, I'm just a perfectionist and I have OCD. So seeing something so clean and your hard work pay off and it actually come together, and it's going to work because I know I built it myself. I'm working on getting some stickers made that says built by Powerstroke Boys, so that'll eventually go on. We can put that sticker on later inside the truck, but obviously I don't have the range selector switch on, DTR switch, neutral safety switch, whatever you want to call it. I can't put it on because it's sitting on a pallet jack, or it's gonna be a mover, furniture dolly, get up underneath the truck. My truck just sits so low. Unfortunately, trying to use the Harbor Freight transmission jack, I can't slide it up on the jack itself, so we have to kind of do 2 steps backwards. Eventually we'll have a lift and a shop, but for right now, this is what I work with. So that's why it's on a furniture dolly, if you guys are wondering. Anyways, reuse the old sensors, replace the O-rings, which are still good, replace the connectors. Again, you guys saw that already. And yeah, that's basically it to get the transmission in. So yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and take some footage. I wanna just really focus on getting the transmission inside the truck. Again, if anybody wants this, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Maybe we should raffle this off at 6,000 subscribers, because the last time I checked, I'll put a screenshot up now, but the last time I checked off the top of my head, we were at 5,850 subscribers, I believe it was. So maybe we raffle this guy off. You guys can have the OG flex plate out of the Powerstroke Boys truck. You guys can see we have the metal washer ring, or the metal ring that goes in the back of the flex plate. We're not going to be using this, again, because the stock thickness of the stock flex plate versus the aftermarket one, we don't need this shim, essentially, so we're going to go ahead and delete that. Alright, you guys, so here are the stock flex plate bolts. We reuse these. We're going to go ahead and reuse them again. We're going to go ahead, clean the threads up, just like I did before. So the stock flex plate bolts of the 7.3 is M12 by 1.25. Very fine. You guys can see, went ahead and cleaned all the bolts up. We have our array of them here. So what I do is, if you guys are going to reuse stock bolts, if you don't have a die, I've done this plenty of times. Take a wire wheel and a drill, clamp the hex and a vise, go up and down the threads, okay? Try to keep the drill straight, don't go at an angle, because you'll actually start taking material and start roughing the edge where it actually rolls to the next spline. So just a little piece of advice for you. Once you put some oil on the threads, I just use a cordless ratchet just to run them all the way down, run them all the way back up, and then I blow them off. I blow the die off every time. After every bolt I take out, go ahead and blow the die off, because you don't want to take that garbage and put it back in clean threads on the next one. So you guys can see at the tip of my finger all that crap in there. As you guys can see, I'll zoom in, and that's all crap that took it off the threads here. So we'll hit this with some brake clean and they'll be good as new. So we're gonna go ahead and thread chase the back of the crank. We did this in the original video. I've got an M12 by 1.25 die, or a tap. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, put a little bit of oil and just thread it in. We're gonna go ahead and end up using some blue Loctite in here. Some people do, some people don't, but something like this with a lot of rotational torque, it is a must. Hopefully you can see how dirty they are. So this one here at the tip of my finger, that's the one we just didn't even blow it out. You guys can see how nice and shiny the threads are there, hopefully. You guys come over here to the right, and hopefully you guys can see how dirty that is. So that's why we're gonna go ahead and thread chase all these holes, because they're filled with nothing but a bunch of gunk. Alright, you guys, I went ahead and did every hole, but I left one. I want to go ahead and show you, besides one, I want to go ahead and show you guys what I'm doing. I'm using a 5/16 12 point to grab the tap, okay? Using a cordless ratchet makes things much easier, much quicker, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take some lube, go ahead and just run it in until it bottoms out. You're not going to hurt the crank. Then you guys are going to go ahead and pull it out, and I'll show you guys in real time what this looks like and how quick it takes. until the ratchet stops. Just wait till you see how much crap comes out of here. Can you guys see that, hopefully? Look how much crap came out of that guy. That's what you guys are torquing against, all that dirt and crap, to get an inadequate torque spec. Let's go ahead and get a before and after. Again, you guys can see the before, you can see the after. Hopefully the GoPro picks that up on how much cleaner these threads are. Alright you guys, wanted to show you the new flex plate versus the old flex plate. This is just an identical replacement versus the original one I had. This one's either spray painted or powder coated, and you can see the original steel ring. We're not going to be using that because, again, the spacing is going to be incorrect because the aftermarket one is much thicker. So we can go ahead and put that metal washer or metal ring to the side, and you guys can see we have an engine side, same thing on the new one, and there is our SFI certification sticker. You have your locating dowel here on the crank. Alright you guys, I've got a pry bar wedged in here between some of the teeth. It's fine. One-man job. It's right against the bell housing adapter. These get torqued to 89 foot-pounds. Alright you guys, that's how to install a new flex plate in your 7.3 Powerstroke. That's good for 500 plus horsepower, and it's less than 300 bucks. You guys remember I had a full manual valve body in this truck, and I had a hole coming through the floorboard to hump in the trans tunnel. I had my shift cable and my custom wiring harness to go to the solenoid pack. Well, obviously all that's been deleted since we got rid of that valve body. So I went ahead and took a piece of that insulation sound deadening material I have. This is just a cheap roll I've had for years. A bunch of 3M Super 77 Super adhesive and stuck it up here. Then I used some 3M weather stripping adhesive, I believe it was, and I doubled on top of that. We went ahead and got our piece of insulation. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece over here as well, just to try to keep the heat out of the trans tunnel. It rained, so we got some surface rust on the full drive adapter. Just going to use the Brillo pad. Alright guys, took some air, cleaned it off, then we brake cleaned it. Here's our new gasket, part number is 917-522. Go on either way. We have a locating dowel. We'll go ahead and just put some RTV on the back side to hold this gasket on. And that wooden cradle we made help support the transmission evenly. Manhandle the transfer case up in here. Cross member, we're going to go ahead and install that. Brand new transmission mount. I do these anytime I replace a transmission or drop one. Alright, so something you guys won't see on the internet. This can go either forward with the offset facing toward the back of the truck. We turn it around. You guys can see how it basically hits the oil pan. Have to fight to get it off, okay? Proper way, this mount goes toward the back of the truck, 3/4 of an inch of a gap to get the oil pan off. Our new neutral safety switch, DTR switch, range selector switch is installed. All the marks are lined up with the neutral marks there. Gonna go ahead and replace the shift tube column bushings. You guys can see we have new U-clamps, new bushings, the bracket for the adjustment for the shift indicator. Okay, this is an aluminum piece stocked with plastic. Then we have new stainless steel bolts. That shifter and everything's ripped out. You guys can see the holes left in my carpet and everything. Nice truck. Bushings are not too bad, but they're not the greatest. They're definitely tight, but you can see they're starting to deteriorate. The lip's gone, so we're gonna go ahead and replace them. Alright you guys, you can see how worn those bushings are. There's no lip. This one's got no edge. This one's got both edges. These stock Ford ones, well, you can obviously, they're Ford, but these are like a pot aluminum. They're very thin. These aftermarket ones are nice, thick metal. Using a, what is this, 8mm ratchet wrench. Okay, then I've got a Torx T30 actual hex bit, and we're gonna just put some tape in the back so it can't come loose. Then we're gonna get up underneath the dash here. There's two 10mm bolts out to try to give you some more room up here a little bit. So you can see there's our old bushing. Alright you guys, I've seen some people that use some grease on these bushings. Some of them are dry. The original ones I took out were dry, but a little bit of grease never hurt. And I went ahead and put our pin in. Go ahead and knock it back down until the knurl is 100% through. That's what that should look like. And you guys can see we have just actual movement inside the shift tube, which you're going to have some movement, but the actual bushings are, and obviously the transmission's not hooked up, so have nice, easy movement. Alright you guys, got the original column covers on, clusters back in. Gonna go ahead and swap our shift indicator bracket. The original one's plastic, this one's fine, but they're notorious for breaking. Gonna go ahead and replace it with this aluminum one. This is like a cast. It just bolts in the same way. Alright, you guys, I've got a new retaining clip. I'll put the part number on the screen, or a screenshot. Shift cable, bracket, wiring, new neutral safety switch, all that stuff's been aligned. We're good there. Transmission wiring's all hooked back up. Transfer case, everything's hooked up as well. All that works, no problem there. Running a set of my custom AN fittings for the 41100 E40D. If you guys are interested, it adapts the stock threads to a -10. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, get you guys hooked up. They're affordable, and they're made right here in the good old US of A. We have that, a bracket I gotta hook up the transmission, and then we have our -10 fitting there. New flex plate is in, new spec rack converter is in, running ARP bolts there, full synthetic ATF Dextron 3/Mercon. This is the correct stuff to go in this. I've got tons of inventory on that. So everything's buttoned up downstairs underneath the truck. Went ahead and just put 4 quarts. I've got one of these little 5-quart capacity jugs. I really need to get an old antifreeze bottle or something and fill that up. This works too, but trying to pour this in up there just makes a mess. They hold anywhere 16 to 18 quarts depending on oil pan, trans cooler setup. Obviously we have a stock pan, stock filter, but now we only have just the 6.0 trans cooler, so my capacity is going to be way out of whack from what I'm usually used to, because originally I had the in radiator trans cooler, then we had the 6.0 cooler, paired that with the deep oil pan. This thing held like 6 or 7 gallons of fluid. It was ridiculous at that point. We deleted the deep pan, we deleted the radiator trans cooler, now we're back to a stock oil pan. So, and obviously we have 10-10A in line, so it's going to take a little bit more to fill those up. So let's go ahead and fire it up and see what happens. Here we have a Maddox, whatever you want to call it, transmission and engine compression tester. So obviously we're going to be using the transmission gauge, which is this one here. Now you guys can see this is the stock flexible hose. Now traditionally at the end you guys have some 1/4-inch male threads on both sides. Well, I figure I'll show you. I don't think I've ever showed this in a video. Essentially I modified this so I can make this a quick disconnect, because the problem was you would have the fitting which would go in the transmission, which is 1/8-inch NPT, and then would go to a male, and then okay, well at that point you would have to put a quick disconnect on one side, and then the other side the gauge would just screw into. So really you had one connection where if you wanted to make it quick disconnect on all sides, you really couldn't. So that's why I went ahead and put a quick disconnect coupler on both sides. I drilled and tapped it, then I used JB Weld to seal that guy in. So now we can have a quick disconnect. Gonna go ahead, put my adapter in. This is just a 1/8-inch, 2/4-inch NPT adapter, and then we have a 1/4-inch NPT industrial style coupler fitting here, okay? And you guys can see here is our quick disconnect. I welded the end of it shut. It looks like some booger welds, but this is literally just to keep the end of it plug essentially. So this will thread into the transmission, and then that will couple those two together. So initially, just to fill it, we'll go ahead and use this, and then once we get the transmission full, we'll go ahead and put a pressure gauge to it. Alright you guys, she's filled up 19 quarts, got her gauge on, first time moving on its own power in 3 months. We got our shift indicator all marked, it's fixed. There's reverse, so there's our cold pressure there. Pressure test, here we go. We're in first gear, second. Alright you guys, we're going to go ahead and do a stall test. We're on a closed road here. This is the Spec Right 2100 stall. Alright you guys, I'm excited. The truck's apart, the grill, the bumper, we've got to do all that shit, put it back on, but we've got the pressure gauge out doing my final test ride. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this series. We got the truck back together. It stalls correctly, you guys saw that. The Spec Right converter is working. So we have a brand new transmission in this thing, and I'm excited. So would like to give a big shout out to everybody that helped me, with Josh White from Tiger Transmissions, Ron over at Spec Right Converters, Trans Parts Warehouse. Also, thank you guys to Jacob with the Ford Lightning for being my guy on the sidelines, cheering me on for this. And thank you to everybody else that had a helping hand in this. And big shout out to Chris and Eric at A1 Trans of Georgia. They've been the very big heavy hitters with this. They got the pump, the coast clutch done and everything. So, and thank you to my guy Mark and Greg over at the machine shop. Thank you again to everybody. So as always guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this series up. As always, remember to leave a like, comment, and tell what you guys think. And yeah, we'll have some driving footage. Anyways, thanks for watching. Look at that guys, truck's a little bit dirty, but the first ever Powerstroke boy sticker. Look at that nice gloss look. Oh man, anytime you guys buy any product from me, including my AN fittings we just started producing, you guys will get a free Powerstroke boy sticker. So let me know if you guys are interested.